Hello everyone, I'm Rachel Tessman from stampyourartout.com and I'm here to bring you another live paper crafting class here on YouTube. It's Wednesday, June 30th, 2021 at 11 a.m. Central Time as I'm broadcasting to you live. And oh my gosh, I see someone from Australia, Cindy Gray, who is up at 1:30 in the morning. She can't sleep, so she's tuning in. And thank you to everybody else who's tuning in live with me. I hope that you enjoy what I have to share with you today. A big welcome to all of you who are new to my channel as well, or new to lives. Mention that. If you are live, please chime in, or if you're new to being lives, please chime in and let me know. I have a little message here. YouTube is not receiving enough video to maintain smooth streaming. Ugh. Well, you guys let me know. Let me know if there's an issue with the connection. I'm hoping there is not. But hello to all of you. And thank you for leaving comments, even if you've been live with me before. Tell me where you're from. Tell me what's going on with the weather. I love to hear how long people have been crafting. And questions. Always throw out the questions. We have a moderator with us, as always, Miss Trisha Josephs, and she is going to help out with answering those questions. So a big welcome to Trisha. If you are trying to get a hold of her, your question has been asked and she hasn't seen it or something, you can always tag her by putting the @ sign, the A with the circle around it, before typing her name. And her first name is spelled Tricia. So when you start typing that name, you should be able to grab it and just click on it and it will tag her in the comment. Okay, so comments from last time. We had a fun paper crafting class. Last time we worked with pastels, the new soft pastels. So I am going to set up my screens here so that you can see some of the comments from last time. I haven't done this in a while. I do read the comments, I promise you, but it's been a hard time for me to get them in and read before my next live the following week. Lately, for some odd reason, I don't know, life has been busy, but this time I did it. Yay! I read through all your comments, and so let's just go ahead and show those. We have lots of hellos from all around the world. I always love seeing where you're from, and I love seeing your YouTube names too. Zigzag, what a fun YouTube name that you have. I love that. What else did I want to mention on the left side? Oh, LJ Kimball was at a stamping retreat, and that's so much fun. I've been on several of those. I mean, too many to count now and too many places to try to remember where they're all from. Those are the most fun. Get your projects done. What else did I want to? I think we're going to move over to the right now, but yes, I made a mistake. I've been doing that in so many videos and so many times that I'm just working with the evening evergreen color. It's a new green. It's a really dark, deep green, and it is different than Handsome Hunter. But for some reason, in my head, I have Handsome Hunter sometimes in my head with that green. So I'm so sorry about that. And I love how Trisha mentioned that we were at she was at my garage sale with me all 4 days of the garage sale a couple weeks ago, and we were going through past colors. So that probably was it, Trisha. I was probably just like, I had the old color sitting in my head. Beth, I loved your idea about using a dryer sheet to help pick up any extra powder from the pastels. I haven't tried that myself, I don't think, but that sounds logical because I know that we use the dryer sheets for other things to remove dusts and particles and stuff like that. So that's a grand idea. Give that a go, you guys. Let's see what else. So just some nice comments, and thank you. Thank you, everybody. Okay, so we're going to now move over to, I'm going to scoot this out of the way on my computer, and I'm going to bring up the measurements because you'll want those. Where do I have those? Those must be here. I hope I didn't get rid of them. Oh, Rachel, hang on a minute. I have to do something with my computer. There's always got to be something that goes wrong. Oh, it's right here. Oh, that's why. That's why. Okay, I know. It's a PDF. It's not a Word document. So here we have the measurements and the products that we're going to be using in today's project. And what are we going to do today? I am going to show you how to make a really fun spinner card. And that spinner card is a little more advanced than maybe the typical kind of spinner card that you would make. And we're using the new Give It a Whirl dies that Stampin' Up! Has debuted in the new 2021 through 22 annual catalog. Everyone is having a blast with these. I hope that if you don't have them in your hands yet, that it's something that you'll consider adding to your wish list, because they really make some fun interactive cards. So I did share recently, I think it was yesterday on my blog, a spinner card that's very basic, very easy to do using the You're a Peach suite. And today we're going to go beyond the basics. I'm going to show you a stepped up version of a spinner card. And I am going to tell you right now that V Tran is the most creative person with these spinner cards lately. Of all the ideas that I've been seeing out there on Pinterest and wherever, I mean, V, who is, I'm proud to say, a member of my Stampers with Art group, she has really been amazingly creative with the spinner cards. So I took one of her ideas and I linked it in the description of the video, by the way. So if you look in the description of the video, you can find the link to her card. It's a card where these fish are jumping out of the water and jumping back. It's so cute. So I took that idea and ran with it with my version of the spinner card. So as you can see, we've got all those supplies listed on the left, and then on the right, those are the measurements that we'll be doing. I have everything pre-cut except for the Misty Moonlight cardstock. So those of you who are beginning crafters, if you feel like you can give this a go and you have the tools to invest, or you can invest in some of these tools, because I have quite a few tools in this one, then I can walk you through even just the basics of cutting the cardstock. Hopefully you can all follow along and enjoy this fun card. One more thing that I want to mention when you're seeing this on the screen is that we do have this PDF linked to the blog post that will go live at 12:15. So in about a little over an hour from now, you'll be able to click on the description that's in the video, the video description. There's a link to my blog post, and this video will go over to that blog post. Everything that you'll need to reference, this PDF will be there to download. You can see close-up photos of the card, supplies that are linked to my online store. All you have to do is just click on them. So everything will be handy at 12:15 p.m. Central Time. On that note, let's go to the desktop, and I'm just going to zoom. Oops, can't zoom that in. Hang on. You guys can't see these behind the scene things, but it's funny if you saw what I was doing. Okay, I think I'm set up. Here we go. Okay, this is the card that we're going to make. I'm showing it to you beforehand because those of you that are used to my YouTube lives, you get a peek at the card or project anyways when I create the live announced video. You get a peek at it. So this is the card. Isn't it adorable? And look, you just take this little, grab the scallop edge here and you spin this, and the rays of the sun move around the sun. So sweet, right? And on the inside it's just basic, but I did add some designer paper because it's light enough where you could write on this beautiful sky designer paper. So let's grab our stuff. This is the stamp set we're going to be using. It's called Sharing Sunshine. It was one that called to me right away when I was looking through the annual catalog at what I was going to order, what I was going to get when this debuted in May. And this was one of my first sets. I love sun. I love sunshine. I'm a Leo. So there's something about the sun that just draws me in. And so we're going to use these rays here, obviously. We're going to use one of the smiley faces. We're going to use the happy birthday. And I think that's it. But look at all the different sunshines you can create. And you don't even have to do spinner cards with them. Totally easy, right? This is the set of dies that we're going to look at. So there's quite a few of them in the Give It a Whirl set of dies. This one we're going to use because it is the front of the card. And then when you die cut this piece, you connect them. Do you see where the circles or the holes are? You connect them here and you create a little spinner card. The only other thing that you need is a window that will show whatever you have on this piece through. Okay, so I'm going to grab that peach card. This is the basic peach card that I made. So you can see we have the spinner contraption behind. We have the layer up on top. That's this piece here. I did add designer paper to it. And you can see the brad. The brad is the part that holds these two layers together. So this layer and this circle layer that spins. And then you just create a little window. It really is fun if you want to do some basic stuff. There's different kinds of windows in here, all different kinds of windows that you can use. That's obviously the one I use here. We're also going to be using another set of dies, and those are our layering circle dies, because we need a circle that's a little over an inch large, and that's going to be the one that fits inside of our sunshine. So we're going to grab that and set that out of the way. If you're interested in these magnet sheets, by the way, I do have a connection to Stamp and Storage, which is where I get a lot of my storage products. And so if you're interested in getting those magnet sheets, I do have a link in the description of the video. From these dies, we're going to grab this one. We're going to grab this little guy, and this is actually the one that will be embedded. It's like a little stitched embedded piece. You can see it on these two cards here. See that on the side there? It just kind of helps the person who's receiving the card know which direction to, or know that there's a directional thing that you need to move. I'm going to grab the clouds, and oh yeah, this piece here, obviously. I need that too. And now let's bring in the designer paper. So the designer paper is gorgeous. It is from the Beauty of the Earth. And I'm sorry, I just caught a comment. Hildenelle is from the Antelope Valley, almost part of the Mojave Desert. Did you know I used to live there, Hildenelle? I did. I did for 4 years. I was a teacher in the Palmdale, Lancaster area, 5th and 6th grade. I miss those kiddos. They're all adults now, probably having children. Their children may be even older than mine, because I kind of waited a long time. Okay, sorry for that little side note, but we have a connection. Maybe I've mentioned that to you before, I don't even know. But these are the beautiful papers that you can see from the Beauty of the Earth pack of designer papers. Lots of pretty tree images, outdoor images. Obviously, I'm using this one here that looks like the sky. So on that note, I have all the pieces cut except for die cutting. I didn't die cut. And we need our basic piece cut. So when you look at those measurements on the measurement sheet that I had shared, I talked about the Beauty of the Earth designer paper. We have 2 pieces. One of them is going to get die cut, so it's a little bit larger. It's 5.5 by 4 inches. And then this one's smaller. It's 5 inches by 3 3/4 because it's going to layer onto one of our gold pieces, okay? The gold sheets, by the way, are sold in packs of 2 12 by 12. And I think it's around $5 US for those 2 sheets. But I'm going to show you a way that you can kind of make the most of these 2 layers. I buy stuff like nonstop. So I have like maybe 10 sheets of this stuff. I just love it. So I go through it pretty fast. But one way to save it is to do our die cutting into the middle. And you can also take, and because this is, I'll just do it for you right now. Because this is something that's going to get layered on top of, you can also remove some of the gold within. And I mean, you can even make the border bigger, but I'm just kind of cutting within this section here because we're not going to see the underneath part. So I'm going about 1 inch in, but you could even go like a 1/2 inch in instead and save even more gold paper. But now you've saved some paper. See, you won't notice it, right? So yeah, now we have our gold piece that we can die cut from. All right, for the base piece, we need 1/2 sheet of cardstock folded in half. And that's going to create our basic card size that will fit our medium envelopes. We're going to cut it in half this way. 1/2 of 11 inches is 5.5 inches. So we're going to move this edge to the 5.5 inch mark on our trimmer. We're going to make sure that this edge here is flush to the top, so everything's nice and straight, and we're going to use the dark blade, and we're going to slice. So now we have an extra piece that we can toss aside and use later on another card. This piece now will get rotated, and we're going to go down the middle of 8.5 inches. So our 8.5 inch direction, half of that is 4 1/4. And we're going to grab our light blade now. The light blade scores the cardstock. It breaks the fibers of the cardstock so that you can fold it much more easily than if you were just to do it by hand. So you've got this little ridge in here. It's kind of like a little valley going through there. I always keep the valley on the outside. I think it folds easier to do it that way. We've got our pieces that we're going to die cut. We're going to bring those in. This is vellum. And then we've got that piece. This piece is going to become a layer as well. Oh, we are going to die cut that though. Okay. Well, we're not going to die cut it. We're gonna emboss it with our little image. So let's bring these over and let's start with our machine. So this is our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. I'm going to zoom out. You're going to see kind of the edge of my platform here. I have these different platform sections that my dad made for me that I can put on top of my table. So this is my lighter colored wood. I was just in the mood for a lighter gray. All right, we're going to crank the handle and we're going to bring the mats and the platform through. For die cutting, you just need the platforms that come with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. So platform number 1, die adapter level number 2, and then your 2 mats. And I like to have my scratchier one against the cutting edge of the whatever I'm cutting. There, whatever I'm cutting. So here's a tip that some of us that are new to die cutting don't realize, and I hope that this helps some of you. When you are putting a die through that has a flat edge like this, whether it's a square or rectangle, whatever it is, and you're bringing it straight in like this, you're going to have like this lump that you have to go over. It might not die cut all the way. So a little tip, if you can angle it even slightly on the entry, it's going to grab the corner first and it's going to be a more smooth cut. Okay, so we'll just lay this on here. We don't need to put a sticky note down because the paper is large enough where we don't have to worry about that. We'll line up everything and see now you don't even hear that little sound of like a big kapump, you know. Kapump, is that a word? So now this is die cut. So we've got this fun little stitched edge around there, which I hope you can see. You can see if I angle it. There's a hole down here for the brad. Okay, so this is just trash. We'll set that in our trash can. Now this piece is going to line up on top of here, and we are going to put a sticky note here. Notice it doesn't line up perfectly. That's quite all right because we're going to trim off the bottom section anyways. But for the top section, we want to line it up. So we're going to come in like this, sticky note it down. Maybe grab a couple of those. Sticky notes, Post-it notes, wherever you are. I'm in Minnesota, so 3M, like we call them Post-it notes, just like we call Kleenex, only it's tissue, right? So sometimes a product name is so strong that you just call it, oh, we need a die on there. Hang on, I'm chatting. There, this one's gonna go there. And it's staying in place, although I could, you know what, I am going to sticky note it too because I want to make sure it's completely on the little edge here. We'll sticky note that one. We don't want it to move as we have it enter the 2 rollers. So we're going to crank that through. All right. Oh my gosh, Melanie. Yes, thoughts and prayers for your daughter who's getting her wisdom teeth. Oh my goodness. You have a big day ahead. All right, so now we can peel off the Post-it notes. Do that carefully so you don't rip your paper because this gets really embedded down. Those Post-it notes get embedded down. Now, do you see what I've got there? I've got the fun little arrow that we needed. Okay, these can be taken off. This one we still need to cut, like I mentioned. Now we can cut some of these other ones, and we can do them more like all together. This piece is going to die cut that. We need some scrap basic white cardstock for our clouds. And I think we're set. We can bring this on through. So those are all the scrap pieces. That sound is normal, by the way. That is paper getting cut. paper getting cut, the plastic getting pressed into, it's normal to hear that sound. It's just the kerplunk stuff that you don't want to hear. All right, so now let's toss these off to the side, the ones that we don't need, the scraps. We'll put those over here. Got to keep things organized. And then we'll put our Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine aside because we don't need that. I think I just tossed all my clouds. Where'd they go? Oh, one might be within the paper. It is. Look at that. See, it stayed within the paper. I'm going to show you a little trick for getting that out. There's a couple ways to get it out, but I want to show you one that my friend Vicky shared with me that she said Erica Serwin shared in a video. So you can go like this because there's little tiny holes. Oh, see, I just did it. I demonstrated it before I wanted to. You throw it. You just go like that and it goes down on your table and the paper is separate. But there are holes in here. So if you have a piece that's stuck, you can just poke through there. So we have our 3 clouds. We have our sunshine face. We have our layers. This one again needs to get cut. And we need to stamp and emboss some pieces. So we're going to work on that part next. Let's bring in our Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. I'm sorry, Stamp-A-Ma-Jig. It's a Stamparatus. The Stamparatus is our new positioning tool. We're going to put the happy birthday on here. Hang on, I have to figure out where I cut this. I think it was 2.5. That's the thing, that's a measurement I did not put up there, but I think it's slightly over 2.5 inches. Slightly under 2.5 inches? No, I did it 2.5 inches. Rachel did it 2.5 inches. That's an easy one to remember. So we're gonna cut this paper so that the bottom portion, the bottom 2.5 inches is off. Okay, that's going to create this overlap, which is where we're going to set the vellum circle between. Got it? Cool, right? So now let's stamp. Let's stamp this one first. And I've just got one of the arms, or one of the, I don't use this enough to remember what this is called. One of the plates. It's a plate. I only have one of the plates on here. It comes with 2. I've got my grid paper, my small grid paper lined up, the foam mat, and we want to position our happy birthday image, which I need to clean off. I forgot to clean this. So what I did is I put this one on with a regular block, but then it wasn't dark enough, and I did have to pull in my old Stamp-A-Ma-Jig to get it to line up right. All right, so it was still on the block. Sorry about that. So we have our clean stamp, and you can test it out by pressing it against paper or your hands. It's nice and clean. And we're going to use the magnets. There's 2 magnets on the back of a Stamparatus. I only need one, really, because you can see if you put them too close together, they can clash and break. I have my other one broken already. Haven't replaced it because it's still good. But we're just going to hold our paper in place like that. Then we're going to lay this where we want it to go on our card layer, our cardstock, our paper. It's going to go there. And I'm going to hit my microphone. I don't want to hit my microphone. Are you guys hearing loud sounds because I'm too close to the mic with this tool? So sorry. Let's pull it away this way. I moved my microphone because it was creating shadows before. All right. Now we're going to use the grid lines. You can see there's grid lines behind here on the grid paper. If you look at those, they can kind of help bring your stamp into position where it needs to go. When you got it where you want it, then you just press this down and you're going to lift and pull it open again, making sure this stays in place because it moved on me. Then we're going to ink up that stamp, and that stamp again is against now the plate. It's against the plate up here. So we're going to use our stamp pad. And if you have those little spots, those are perfect for the Stamparatus because you don't get your plate messed up with ink. These pads are so huge for this thing. But you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just inking up my stamp. And now I'm going to bring it down on top of the paper right there. And I'm going to press. And I'm going to do this twice just because I really want this image to be nice and dark, it's actually pretty good. It looks pretty close to what I had before. But I think I want my birthday to be a little bit darker, so we're just going to come in and add a little bit more ink there and try it one more time. And it moved on me, you guys. It moved slightly. Oh, I should have put 2 magnets on there, because what if I mess it up? No, I think we got it. We did it. We did it. See, this grid paper is handy. So there's our stamped happy birthday piece. Now we can take and move this out of the way. Make sure you put your magnet back in the right spot and don't connect it with that one. Now we're going to stamp our sunshine pieces. So we can close up our ink pad. And we're going to bring in our 2 stamps that create the sunshine. These images we're going to emboss. So we're going to use embossing powder and the heat tool to do these. For the sunshine, you'll see on the card, I've got the sunshine face high up on the circle. So, but keep in mind that this kind of cardstock is super slippery because it is foil sheets, it's coated, it's non-porous. So when we push this stamp onto here, it might move if we're not careful. Okay, so here we go. Versamark Pad. The Versamark Pad is a sticky clear ink. Highly recommended for any crafter. You can use it just like I did last week with the pastels and do some fun stuff with it that way. It also stamps directly onto cardstock and deepens the color of the cardstock, and we can emboss with it. And look at that, I've got a little fleck of something on there. Okay, so we're going to emboss with it. We're going to take our powder and our little static bag there, anti-static I should call it. So first we're going to use our anti-static little bag. This used to be called an embossing buddy. In fact, it is the embossing buddy. But if you look on Amazon, they call them anti-static something or other, like embossing tool bag or something like that. We're just rubbing that on the surface just to get any oils, fingerprint type stuff calmed down so it's not sticky. And then we'll have our powder ready in hand. What I did with mine is I put mine into just a little plastic container, and I have a tiny little spoon in it, and that helps me to add the embossing powder without having to dump it on my paper and then re-scoot it into the tiny little containers it comes in. Okay, so we're inking up our stamp. We're going to stamp that smiley face up high, and gosh, you can feel the paper wants to move, right, or the foil wants to move right away. So we've got our face on there. Not sure if you can see, there it is. Yep. And now we're going to take and we're going to cover up this pad because the pads collect dust. Always keep your Versamark covered when you're not using it. And you can see how easy this is if you just have a little container to tap it back into. Makes the mess easier. We're going to bring in our heat tool and we're going to put it on high. Thank you, Kathy, for the little extra email on the 2 different levels of embossing guns. So the high is for embossing. The low is for heat, like, you know, drying out stuff, heat setting stuff that is not embossing powder, making it dry faster, those kinds of things. Like if you were to do a water with spritzer and ink and stuff like that, and then you wanted it to dry quickly, you'd use the lower setting. What is this? What is this? This is like a chipboard piece, really strong cardboard that I've covered with just aluminum foil. And I like to use that when I heat emboss. It reflects heat back. It's just a really like an easy way to make, you know, kind of a fun tool to help with embossing. And this is just a skewer, just a wooden skewer. So this helps so that I can hold it away from my hand when I'm heating it. Another thing that you can do is when you start heating a heat tool up, you can blow it away from you for a while and then bring it back and heat it when it's on its nice high heat. You'll be able to see, hopefully, that embossing powder turn color. Hang on, just want to hold it a little more steady. There we go. So as soon as it changes color, or changes tone, or whatever you want to say, it's melting the powder and it's embossed it. So now we have our smiley face, and you don't want to touch it right away because it's still kind of sticky and it's cooling off. But within like 20 seconds, 30 seconds, you'll be able to grab onto that. let's move this aside for just a minute. Let's bring in this piece here. And obviously we want our sunshine in the middle. So what will help is if we use our grid paper under here, and what I'm doing is I'm lining up the hole with the center crosshatch lines on my grid paper. I'm going to zoom in here. My other one didn't line up as perfectly, so I'm hoping we can line this one up a little bit better. So we'll just pray that it works. There's no center little mark in the middle here to line up with the hole on this paper, but if we just come straight down on top of it, hopefully we'll be, and I'm of course hovering at an angle because I am doing a video, so if I have to go, if I put my head right over the top, you're going to see the top of my scalp here. So I'm using the camera. Hopefully I got it in the middle. Let's pray, okay? Because again, I'm coming at an angle to this thing. All right. So we've got, oh, and you know what I forgot to do? The anti-static thing. We will just pray that we don't have little bits of embossing powder stuck where we don't want it. Pray with me, you guys. So we're putting the embossing powder on here. I don't feel like I have sticky hands, but you know, I did put on lotion right before the video, so. All right, well, it's not, the circle isn't completely in the middle. That's okay. It'll be a wobbly sun ray. You'll get the idea. Basically, you want to center it as much as you can, right? Okay, let's heat this one up. So we'll take this vellum piece and put it on here. Again, if you have your hands too close to the heat that's coming out of the heat tool, you can burn your fingers. So you want to use a skewer. Let's see if we can watch it change right before our eyes. It's magical. Embossing is so much fun. Oh, can you see that? Kinda. So cool. And you see how I'm wiggling it? Because I don't want to burn the powder. So I'm kind of wiggling it back and forth so there's a room to kind of cool off in between hitting one place or the other. All right. There we go. There's our shiny, metallic-y embossed piece. So fun. Embossing is so fun. Okay, we're going to set these aside. I forgot to cover that earlier. Oh, a question that came up during the live last week, and this was a great question. I thought I had kind of said it well, but maybe I didn't. I confused some people. The Versamark Pad, the ink, this is the top of the ink pad, right? When you put this on, your top of your ink pad is now upside down, right? That's the way you want to store your Versamark, upside down. These pads, here's the top. Watch, now it's already upside down. So you don't have to worry about storing these pads like this, if that makes sense. Okay, you store them like this. That was a great question. Okay, let's bring in our pieces and start assembling this. Let's do the inside first because that's the easy part. So we're just going to add some adhesive. I'm using seal adhesive. And we'll just put a little bit in each corner. Make sure our clouds look like they're going upwards. I think I have to zoom out a bit. I'm very close to the camera. There we go. And then this can go on the inside of our card. And again, if you want to save more gold foil sheet, cut further in or further away from the middle. You can even do that on this piece here because you'll see, you're not going to see much of it. You know, you could have cut these middle sections out if you really wanted to. I'm not going to worry about it. Okay, this piece is next. This is going to get put directly, actually no, it's not next. Stop, Rachel. Let's build the sunshine up. Okay, so our sunshine needs to be connected together with this layer through the hole. So you see there's a hole now that lines up, and we're going to connect that. We can use any of the brads in our, what do we call these? The round and square brads. We can use any of them. I'm just going to choose a white square one, or you could use like the black square one because they're bigger and they're going to grab onto a glue dot real easily. So we want a glue dot on top of the brad to hold our center of our sunshine. So that's going to go through like that, flip it over, open the legs of the brad outward, take a stamp, and just kind of press it so it's flat. And then test it out. Make sure it turns in a circle. Okay? Yeah, our sunshine rays are going to go kind of up and down and up and down. Oh well. And then you're going to grab a glue dot. So you're just going to pull one of these puppies out. Grab your glue dot. Stick that on here. And this is a tip that somebody did share. One of you guys, one of you viewers shared this with me, where when you get your glue dots, because the glue dots are on this side, they're kind of covered up until you pull them out. If you want to, you can use your container to release the glue dots just by cutting a little notch here. And then when you pull them out, you can just, yeah, it's really cool. It's nice and handy. It's a great way to store them. So that's all set. My poor little sunshine. Yeah, no matter where I put this, I think it's gonna, yeah, because see, then it moves over there. Yeah, oh well. You guys know, though, that you want to line it up as well as possible. So we're going to stick our face here, right in the middle, on top of that dot. And then when we turn the sun rays, I'll do it down here so you can see. See, it's not too bad. It's kind of like my first one. I guess my first one wasn't perfect either, but that's pretty good, right? Okay, now we can stick this down onto our gold layer. Something that you may want to consider, though, is putting this up on dimensionals. I didn't on this one, and you have to get your fingernail caught on the scallop portion there to pull it. But if this is kind of bugging you, if you have thicker fingers or whatever, you could put this layer up on dimensionals, and then you could even put this one up on 2 layers of dimensionals. I'm going to stick with what I did, but just a little tip for those of you that bugged. Where are my dimensionals, by the way? Oh, here they are. Okay, so this piece I'm just going to put on flat. And we're just grabbing the seal adhesive, getting it going here. Okay, so all of this back layer could be covered. We're going to lay that down like this. And now we want to add our clouds and this layer here. And this just gets tucked underneath and added with dimensionals, but you want to be careful where you put your dimensionals. Your dimensionals cannot be put on the back of this and then stuck down, or it might attach to your vellum circle that you just created. So you actually want to put your dimensionals onto the gold piece, which is opposite of what you're typically taught, right? We're going to put a couple in the corners. We're going to put one here to help lift it away from the vellum circle. And then if you want to, you can take and cut one in half, or get your smaller dimensionals. We have mini dimensionals too. And just maybe stick a couple in through here so that you have a lifted area that's not going to interfere with that vellum circle. Pull the backings off, a little release paper, and then you can insert this like that, and you line up the corners at the bottom and the edges on the side. You worry about these 3 edges here and not the top necessarily. Okay, so now look what we got. Pretty cool, right? The last thing is just to add some clouds. And the clouds can be added to, like these 2 together, actually go straight across and fill up that whole space over there. So we're going to do that. And the way that we're going to do that is with more dimensional, with more lift, I should say. So I'm going to cut an edge here so that I have long, skinny dimensionals. And we're going to put one kind of here and one, oh, that one might be too big. Let's do it just a couple big. 2 spaces big. And we'll set this one here. So do you see where I have them? I have them placed right close to the edge to help accommodate our clouds. So let's take this off here and add this cloud really close to the edge like that. And then this is our other long one. The other cloud is kind of short, so it won't work all the way across. Thank you, Pat. Hi, Pat Stewart. How are you? And then this one can go right here. Like that. Oops, I'm going to move it up a little higher. Hang on. Go, 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 go. Get off of there. It's stuck to the paper really well. Hang on. I want this to cover up that little corner there. Okay, so now we've got that. And then the last step is just to add one more cloud. And we're just going to use our seal adhesive. Put a little bit on the back side. We're going to tuck it right back here so it looks like there's a cloud behind the sunshine rays. Is that fun? And then this just goes on the front of your card using seal adhesive, whatever adhesive you want to do. There's our finished card, sorry. There we go. Such a fun and happy card, right? There's the inside, there's the outside. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. So now you know that if you split that top layer on the Give It a Whirl die layers, you can do an interactive spinner card that has more than just a window. Okay. Again, V had the fish that were stamped along here, colored in, and then she had the fish that were just kind of going in and out of the water in a circular motion. She had waves or something down here. I don't know. It was so cute. It was a super cute card. So you'll want to click on that link and check it out. Okay, I'm going to move this away on my computer, something you guys can't see. But I'm going to come over to this one. Okay, we have winners. So every time I do a video, for those of you that are new, I don't know, something happened. My nose got red. Every time we do one of these live videos, we have a live prize drawing. And then we also do a prize drawing for those people who commented after the previous, the current video, I should say. So the previous week's video. So I do have a winner to announce from that one. I'm going to show you the prizes. Before we go on to the prizes, though, I do want to mention some things going on. Right now, it is June 30th. It is the last day of June, which means the current mini catalog, the last date on this is June 30th. The current mini catalog is leaving us. This is our farewell parting day. If there's anything from the mini catalog that you didn't get, you might want to look it up in the online store or talk to your demonstrator about it and see if it is retiring or if it carried over. Some items in here carried over, which means that they were brought into the new annual catalog that started in May. Some items are not, though. And in fact, some items are even on sale. Like this set of dies here, it's 50% off. So you'll want to check that out. There is a section on the online store, and there's a link in the description of my video to get to the online store. But there's a section there that talks about sales and specials. And if you click there, you'll be able to see all kinds of things that are on sale, special, blah, blah, blah. Okay, so saying goodbye to those. Also, the Hey Chick stuff, not all of it. The Birthday Chick stamp set is still going to be in the annual catalog. So let me just peek at that really quick. Birthday Chick. Birthday Chick was one that was introduced in that mini catalog I just shared with you. And birthday, let's see here. Birthday, or maybe it's Hey Birthday Chick. Hey Birthday Chick. Okay, page 65. This one did carry over, the dies carried over, but the bundle did not. So if you want in on the 10% savings to get this stamp set along with the dies that coordinate with it to cut out all these cute little figures, then you want to get in on that bundle before the end of the day today. And then the Hey Chick, which was a stamp set that they brought back from a few years back to go, because it's the same illustrator, it's the same images, just fun different images, but same type of images. Anyways, that and its dies are leaving today. Okay, I think that's it. Tomorrow, paper sale. So if you loved the Beauty of the Earth paper that I just used, maybe hang on to an order if you don't need to get in on the retiring stuff. But this paper is one that will be on special, be 15% off, along with some other select designer series papers. Let's bring in the prizes. So you can check those out. Okay, so for our last week's winners, 2 of them already contacted me, the 2 that were on with us live, and they got their soft pastels mailed to them already. We have one more winner from last week's video from the After Live comments, so I'll share that in just a minute. They get this new set of pastels. And for this week's winners, you get to choose from a packet of embellishments. So you can choose from my all-time favorite rhinestones, which I hope they never get rid of. Pearls also in the top 10. Then we've got these beautiful genial gems. They're gorgeous. They're in kind of green and peachy colors, and they're just, oh, they're so pretty. And then the coveted in-color jewels. I say coveted because these have sold out twice already since the catalog started in May. We've had to, Stampin' Up! Has had to shut the number off, which means people can't purchase it. It's shut off again, but I have packets here. So I see that Tricia has drawn winners from the live today. So congratulations to Sue. And it's just Sue. So if your name is Sue, S-U-E, in this thread of comments, you're it. And she tagged you. And then Linda Pierce, you are the winner. So you get to pick one of these things. The first person to contact me at the email address, and gosh, I don't use my overlays that much. I'm so sorry. The first person to contact me at stampyourartout@comcast.net will get to choose first. So both of you, will you please give me your top 2 choices just in case you both pick the same thing as your first. Okay, and then what else do I want to mention? Oh, yeah, we got to draw the prize winner from last week. So let's get this one off of there. And let's move to my computer. Shut that off, Rachel. Okay, so the winner from last week's After Live comments, and I'm very happy to announce this winner because I've been chatting with her lately, is Robin. Robin Jardine, I think is how you say your name. Robin, congratulations to you. You get that little pack of pastels. I have your address, but it'd be nice if you wanted to say hello and reach out to me anyway. So give me an email. Don't want to just surprise you with the prize. So. And for those of you who have never visited my website, it's stampyourartout.com. Check it out for ideas because I share more than just once a week. And check that out. Also, if you don't have a demonstrator or you're not a demonstrator yourself, you can find my shop button on my blog at stampyourartout.com and purchase products directly from there. Did you all have fun today? I hope so. I had a blast. I loved sharing this. I don't think there's anything else I needed to share with you. So I will bid you adieu, but just know that next week I'll be live again with another live paper crafting class here on YouTube. Please give me the thumbs up. Like this video, like the channel, subscribe to my channel. I invite you to do so. And then on Wednesday, July 7th at 11 a.m. Central Time, so it's always Wednesdays at 11, I will be live with another idea for all of you. So thanks everybody for joining me. Now I'd like you all to go and stamp your art out. Bye-bye.